And welcome everybody to VIR for the LG 135 for BRL. This is a championship round here at Virginia International Raceway, and I'm your broadcaster, host, league owner, and scrub driver number 8, Sam Cook. So we're going to be broadcasting this and the final 2 races. This race and the final 2 races of the series. So we thank everyone for tuning in. If you want to be a part of the league, obviously message me, Sam Cook 2728785 right here on social or right here on the Xbox. So let's break this thing down right here. First of all, big time playoff implications going on. Only 9 drivers for us today, but as anyone that's followed the series knows, 9 drivers is plenty of time, plenty enough drivers to have great competition. Been a while since I've been in the booth, so bear with me. On pole, we have the 46 of Skitty Brave. Outside pole is going to be the 84 of Ghost. Now, this is big because Ghost Train has a great opportunity to start up front and have the opportunity to go ahead and get up front and start leading laps. Last time we were here, a lot of success from that 84. Will he be able to continue that success? He is one of our chasers. DNF at Daytona, he's going to need to have a good run here. Next is Woozy Emu starting 3rd, another driver at DNF. He's going to be starting 3rd. Dale Jr. will be 4th place on the grid in that 88. And to finish out top 5, Little Sharky, the 18, going to finish it out. Let's give attention to our Blitz reporter and the pole sitter in the 46 as we prepare to go green flag for 60 laps here at VIR. It's time to go green, and the green flag is out. We're racing here at VIR. And off the track is the 46 of Skitty Brave. He had the pole, and he led the pace lap. Someone else off. That's Dale Jr.'s off. Bibbly Bob's off. Woozy Emu off. A lot of drivers off track to start this race. Let's go up closer to the front. Michael, all these chasers able to capitalize on the mistakes. Look at Beloved in 3rd. Is going to get crossed over. Beloved is off track here in the opening laps. Here's a BB, here's Michael. So a lot of changes in the grid, a lot of chasers affected by this. 3 for the positive, 1 for the negative, as we saw Beloved go off track early in this race. So 1, 2, 3 goes Habibi Michael. Skitty Brave off track once more. Ghost Train's going to lead the opening laps of this race. And it looks like we have a caution. Caution flag is out for lap 1 of this race. Not sure what happened, so let me pay attention to the ticker up front. Everyone's here. Little Sharky's in the rear, however, and so we'll see if he has damage. There is some damage to the car. He has some transmission damage, but other than that, nothing quite there yet. Wow. So we saw a lot for lap 1 of this road course, and this is a very difficult road course. The North Circuit of Virginia International, very tough corners that require a lot of breakdown, straightaways that are going to give you heavy speed, and of course, narrow racetrack, so it's going to take some finesse for a lot of these drivers. You look at Ghost Train, the story for Ghost Train. Last week at Daytona, DNF as he was caught up in an accident, plate racing accident, and it really set him back in the point standings because the other chasers ended up finishing that race and actually finishing pretty well. So Ghost is exactly where he needs to stay the entire race. He's going to have some work to do in order to catch up in the point standings. Of course, no team points available whatsoever for the Final Four finalists. And so because of that, it's really going to be a pressure situation from this point out as he tries to catch the guys behind him. He's going to need some help. And we talk about the guys behind him. Little Habibi finished third at Daytona. A good run for him. Daytona has been a hit and miss for him overall in BRL. Not known as a plate racer, but had two very successful runs at Daytona, which gave him an opportunity here in the final round to be right in striking distance for that championship. Question: will he be able to get the championship this season? When you think about legacy, you think about names. We know Habibi can win races, but if he can't secure a championship this season, obviously the fear factor or the intimidation factor will definitely go down when you talk about whether Habibi will be able to, or it will definitely go down when you talk about championships, because he'll be known as a driver who can win a lot of races. Don't worry about him championship round, he won't get it done. So I think it's really important for him to have success and to secure this championship. It's going to be really important for him to do that. If not, it's going to be tough when you think about overall impressions. Go to Michael, talk about impression, rookie season, the 22. I mean, definitely his pit road is open. Ghost is going to go to pit road. So that's very interesting. That surrenders the lead to his teammate and competitor Habibi. So that changes things quite a bit. Several takers in pit road. Beloved, Lil Sharky in pit road, Ghost in pit road, Skitty Brave is there. So that's going to be very interesting as well. Let's get back to Michael. Talk about impressions. He's made a huge impression on BRL as a rookie coming into this league and really setting his name early with success early, wins early, and then that very dominant win, you could say, at Daytona. Really proven that he's here to chase that championship. Question though, first time in this kind of situation, he's not advancing with this win. He's gonna have to battle it out the rest of these 4 races. How much pressure is he feeling competing against Habibi, competing against Ghost, who have been in this situation before, our defending champion, and obviously the 48 who has a lot to prove this season in terms of winning a championship. So we'll get an opportunity to see what he's going to put on display here, and will he be able to stay cool under pressure. Dale Jr., tough breaking elimination, but Dale Jr. is running third right now after the pit stops, and hopefully looking to finish off this season strong. Obviously got off to a strong start with a really good finish at Daytona in round 1 and was able to advance to the round of 8, but things kind of fell apart as the season progressed. I know he'd love to get the opportunity to kind of rebuild and retune for BRL S4. So we'll see what Daytona, or what Dale Jr. rather, can do. Woozy Emu sitting 4th. It's important for him get back on that streak of finishing races. I mean, his season has looked like the Los Angeles Lakers season this season in basketball, just one blunder after another. Can he finish this for Frosty and for XRE Racing? We'll see if he can get it done this season. And then Ghost Train, we talked about him already. We'll see if he can turn things around in his favor after what happened at Daytona. So a lot to look at. Of course, we have no hot seat drivers in this race, so the battle for the hot seat remains null at this point. Let's ride along with Skinny Brave, who's in 6th. And let's look at, let's ride along with him. He is our Blitz reporter, and we'll spotlight him for this early restart. Restart number 1, caution number 1 that came out on lap 1. And now we head back to the start-finish line for our first restart. Let's ride along. Green flag. Lap completed under green, and our leader is Michael, as you rode along there with Skitty Brave, and we saw a lot of trouble early. There's a couple corners that just fool you. You know, you think you can carry a certain amount of speed, and you can't. The car just doesn't hold, and as a result, you go off track. And coming down this hill actually is one of those areas where, you know, you have to be really, really cautious of how you take it, because if not, you will slide right into the grass. And then coming off the hill in the final corner is another one. We saw Habibi drive off course. Habibi has we got cars off the track in the rear. We got cars off the track in the rear of the field. The 9, that's the 14 of Bibbly Bob, and he is not DNF'd, but he is off the track. So we don't know what happened there. And Little Sharky back there in the back as well. Another runoff there. He is struggling with this racetrack. No damage, however, and we keep rolling. Let's see. We stay under green. Ghost Train up to second. In any case, like I said before, that corner right there they just took. Habibi's just got a love-hate relationship going on with this track. I mean, he's fast. He can be fast, but this track seems to get him in certain areas, and so we'll see whether he can correct those mistakes as time goes along. Michael in the lead so far. Turn on our map, and now everyone is spread out. Let's go deeper in the field here. Let's look at 7th place right now on the grid, and that is Little Sharky. Little Sharky has made his run from hot seat to top 16 with good runs, and of course electronic issues and bad runs from other drivers, which has netted him top 10 finishes, which gives him the points to get into the top 16. So kudos for him. Let's keep going. 9th, Bibbly Bob. Let's go up to Woozy Emu running 6th, having a decent run so far, just kind of taking his time. And that's what you do, as he's got damage on his race car. So maybe he was the reason why other drivers were off course here. He's got significant damage. We have to look for him to probably pit this time and get that damage fixed. But this is exactly what you do. This is exactly what you want to do right now. And definitely, if he doesn't get some good runs, he's definitely, before the season ends. Oh! Into the tire barrier he goes, and damage had a lot to do with that. He's definitely in danger of falling into that hot seat if he's not careful. So he definitely wants to get that damage repaired. And here's the danger zone. As drivers come up to try and pass him with that damage, will they be able to pass him successfully? Let's keep an eye on this. Dale and Sharky trying to get past that 54. And of course, he's going to hold them up quite a bit. And that, oh, well, Dale went to try to take a shortcut. That didn't work. this track is just tricky. It's so tricky that it's tough to get that. And let's see if he is not going to get that damage repaired. So you have to question that move for sure. Let's see if he'll be able to hang on the rest of the way. Habibi in third. And right now, I'm sure just kind of fine-tuning his racing on this track. A lot of laps to turn here, 60 laps. So he's got plenty of time to kind of fine-tune himself and get himself together for the run late so that he doesn't make the mistakes we saw earlier with him driving off the racetrack. So I'm sure right now just biding his time and allowing these guys to kind of pull away. That's okay. He's learning. And at the end of this race, we'll see what he's learning. And if he's able to, if it's enough to catch the leaders up ahead. Ghost Train up ahead here as Michael's kind of broke away from Ghost Train just a little bit. But now the interesting part, lap traffic. Coming up here right now. So we will see how that influences these guys. Let's ride along with Ghost really quickly here. As you hear, he's got a little bit of transmission damage too. Has a lot to do with getting off of these corners. Now you see Ghost, he's not in panic mode right now. He knows he can catch Michael, and he also knows that Bibbly Bob is holding Michael up right now. So with that being said, he needs to take his time, don't overdrive the track, and he'll be able to catch it as Bibbly Bob hits the tire barrier. And that looked like it hurt. I'm sure he's got some, no, he does not have damage from that. But boy, that was scary for Michael, I'm sure, because he had to try to get around him. But he's good so far. Okay, we'll go back to Ghost. And now there's no stopper for Michael. So now Michael can kind of pull away. Michael is really proving himself early. Strong car, that ECE Chevrolet. So it's going to be really interesting, all things considered, what later on in the race is going to look like. We know there's going to be a caution. The doubt very seriously is going to go green all the way. We already had one on lap 1. So we'll see how things turn up. Look at those tires. Using them up right now. Oh, we got Dale Jr. slow on the racetrack. Dale, a lot of damage here. And he was in the middle of the racetrack. I'm not sure whether that's going to be a caution. Let's see. Yes, caution is out. Just what I talked about here. Caution flag flies for the second time here at VIR on lap 9. So Michael so far has led the most laps. Ghost Train has led some laps. So let's kind of do a progress report for our drivers. Michael looking strong early. Question, can he maintain that strength throughout the race? As these drivers, these veteran drivers, start to learn the track and kind of learn the racing style for the drivers around them, things are going to get tougher as the time goes on. So no need to panic for anybody. So we'll see, can Michael maintain this with the field bunched back up? Ghost Train. We saw Ghost Train able to keep in eyesight, but it didn't seem like he could catch him. Maybe that's by design. We saw how much Michael was using up his tires compared to Ghost. So maybe this is by design, that he knows he needs to save those tires. Also remember that Ghost Train pitted on the first caution. Michael did not. So here's the question, is whether this was by design to save his stuff or fuel strategy. we'll have to pay attention to that. Little Habibi, we saw him drive off the track early. The leaders drove away. He's learning. He'll be there when it counts. We'll see exactly what he was able to learn the next restart. Our Blitz reporter, the 46 of Skinny Brave. He doesn't have a mic, so we won't get a chance to interview him, but we will spotlight him throughout the race. And he looked pretty strong, but again, made mistakes early, so we're going to have to pay attention to whether he can correct those mistakes and be any competition. Remember that, you know, you may ask, well, for these drivers that are not competing for a championship, what's the bonus for winning? What's good about winning? Is there any, does it do anything? BRL S4, remember that any driver that wins in the previous season, when we go to Homestead for the qualifying race, those drivers start up front. Remember that was the case for this season. Habibi had the pole because of the fact that he won the most races. So for these drivers that are eliminated, if they are interested in returning for an S4, then they're going to want to win races to get themselves up front, because being back in that hornet's nest at Homestead, you know, can lead to disaster for these drivers. So that's part of it. Let's look at Beloved, our fourth and last car on the grid right now in terms of Final Four finalists. Beloved's got a little damage to that one car. He's already had a story to tell in the opening laps of this race. But Beloved's going to have to finesse his way yet again. These leaders are not, these leaders are susceptible to mistakes. So there is a possibility, as pit road is open this time, that mistakes can be made by these leaders that could really hurt these drivers here. As we see Michael stay out on old tires, the rest of the field, everyone in its entirety pits. So let's see if Beloved can get a good outcome here. But the story so far has been Michael and his ability to be dominant in the presence of these veteran drivers. So let's see if he can continue to do that for the remainder of the race. All right, so while Bibbly Bob gets his lap back and gets back on the lead lap, let's go through our running order after pit stops. Michael in first, Ghost Train second place right here, Little BB third, so that order kind of stays the same. Skitty Brave fourth, Beloved Car moves up to fifth. This is important to note as he is working strategy to try to stay relevant and up front. Woozy Emu is in sixth place. He got that damage repaired, well needed, and stays with the group. Little Sharky in seventh place, our rookie, and then Dale Jr. is in eighth, Bibbly Bob in ninth, as we prepare for restart number 2. All right, we're preparing for the restart here at VIR for the LG 135. We're 12 laps complete out of 60 as we prepare to go green flag, our second restart of the race so far. And we're gonna go green flag right here on board of Michael as he takes us to the line. Green flag, we are back underway. And into turn one they go, barreling down in their tough corner, hard on the brakes. You see the rotors on the 22 glowing red. This is how hard they're stumping on the brakes to keep clear. Now you see Habibi making that move on Ghost Train. He reasserts himself. He's in second place on the restart. Habibi gonna try to make a run for the lead. He goes, makes the pass. Habibi is your leader. Is Michael gonna come right back? He does. He's right there on the bumper of Habibi. A little bit of contact as they headed to the next corner. Michael's gonna try to cut it deep. Habibi going to try and make his move deep, and we've got contact and we've got drivers slow on the racetrack back here in the back. Bibbly Bob slow. Woozy is out, and the caution flag is gonna fly again. Woozy Emu out. Dale Jr., he's got damage. Bibbly Bob. Bibbly Bob's got damage. So a multi-car accident, and Woozy Emu is going to take the hardest hit out of those, and he's going to DNF, unfortunately, yet again. Tough battle, though, we saw on the start of this between Habibi, Michael, Ghost. Ghost Train didn't look like he got a good restart there. His pit road will probably be open this time by. He didn't get a good restart there, and as a result, Habibi was able to take him. Michael, however, did get a good restart, but Habibi was able to make those runs early in those S's and then seal Michael off to secure that lead before the caution came out. And I'm very curious to know what that conversation was about as those passes were being made. That's going to be interesting. Yes, pit road was open as these drivers exit pit road. So that's it just tells us we're going green this time. And while we do that, let's see if we can get an interview with let's see if we can't get an interview with Woozy. Here's Woozy Emu. Be sure to include your audio, Woozy.
I did.
And obviously a tough break for you, man, because you got the worst end of that. What happened out there on the racetrack?
I was doing my best because I was holding my line carefully, but I hit the wall on accident and hit below.
Oh, okay. Well, another race, another DNF. Obviously a disappointing season for you, but anybody you got to thank?
Yeah, my newest sponsor, Toyota Care, and the team to take care of my car.
All right, well, Toyota Care's got work to do to put the fenders back on that one after that hard hit, but hopefully they'll be able to do it for next week's race. We head back to Daytona for the road course. So you want to join me here?
Sure.
Too?
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, definitely. So Woozy's going to join us up here in the booth. So we got a partner here as we get set to go back green flag. So let's run through our top 5 really quickly here for you. Woozy, a little Habibi is on pole right now. Michael's sitting second. Third place is Ghost Train. Fourth place is our Blitz reporter and Skinny Brave. And Little Sharky has gotten up to 5th. We know Beloved involved in the accident. He's back down to 6th. And let's pay attention to this restart. Let's pay attention from Ghost Train's view as Habibi leads us to the green flag. Go, green and the flag is waving and the series is back underway. Barreling into turn 1, locking up the brakes. Ghost, or look at Ghost trailing these two drivers as they're side by side, exiting 2 and entering 3. Entering 4 as they come along. Really tight double corner there. You got to be so careful. Then the left-hander in the 5. Look at the crossover attempt by Michael. And while he does that, Ghost inches ever closer to these guys. Smoke behind them as Skitty Brave and Bibbly Bob look to make contact.
Yeah, we have a game.
And we got cars slow.
Oh. Oh, look at me. Ran into the grass. Oh!
Let's get back up front. Michael, Ghost. What happened to Habibi?
Went into the grass and just spun out.
Oh, Habibi. Terror strikes yet again.
And we have a caution.
A caution. Caution flag flies. Endangerment of the field, I'm sure. And your leader, Michael, once again. What intense battles. But see, this is what I was talking about. For Habibi, this has just not been a good racetrack for him. He's been unsuccessful in stringing together multiple laps of good lap times and good racing without mistakes. Something we're not used to seeing from the 48 team. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. And here's something else that's very curious as well. Michael still has not pitted. He didn't pit yet to pit in the race.
Yeah, he was about to pit, but he decided to not pit with no reason.
So it's going to be curious as far as strategy goes. Let's take a look back at our map. Let's look again. Any drivers taking pit road this time? We don't see any, so everyone elects to stay out this time by, and which means we'll go green next time. So, Woozy, what do you think about the racing so far? Obviously, watching these last few laps, but also being a part of the beginning of the race.
Yeah, as a driver, they need to be careful on the Virginia International Raceway because the track is so good for me to handle. But the rest of the driver, they need to be careful uphill.
Yeah, that uphill portion is so tricky because you think that you can take it at a certain speed and at a certain way and a certain angle. And what happens is when the weight shifts as you go into that corner, you do lose traction and you lose a lot of speed. It's so easy to spin out there going uphill, so you got to really be careful. That's one spot. There's another spot coming downhill headed to that start finish line. Again, it's one of those tricky corners where you think, hey, I got this, and you end up in the grass.
Yeah.
And we've seen that several times out of many of our top tier drivers. So very tough areas of the racetrack.
When the driver is coming up, the session that have left, right curves with the tire barrier.
Right. All right, so let's bring our map and our ticker back up.
They're on lap 15 out of 50.
Yep, and There we go. My chat is back up, so here we go. Double file. Let's ride along once again with our Blitz reporter in Skinny Brave, and let's see how the action turns out. He's restarting 4th place on the grid behind Michael. Let's see what happens. Go. Green flag. Into turn 1 to go. Skinny locks it up hard. A lot of contact. 3 wide. 3 wide racing in that corner. And Skinny Brave is going to go up to 2nd with a BB up there. I think Ghost paid the price for that 3 wide action. Here's a BB. Says thank you very much, or at least tries to as he gets to the inside. Skinny trying to hold it. Skinny gave heavy contact, and we see almost a spin. Great save out of 46, but he just is getting bullied out there as Habibi works hard to try to get back ahead. Now Ghost has got work to do. Skinny Brave down to 3rd. Here's Bibbly Bob fighting. Now these two can legitimately fight for a contention for the win. Obviously, as they go uphill, that right-hander, Bibbly Bob, can't handle it. He's in the dirt. He's in the grass, jeopardizing the field as Ghost tries to get by.
And Michael would take him away like a horse and still take the lead.
Michael's breaking away. Skinny Brave is fighting off competition as he remains 3rd. Little Habibi is 2nd. Ghost Train is 5th, and now he's going to have to try to get past both Bibbly Bob and Skinny Brave to get back in contention. And we got cars all over the racetrack. Let's look at 8th place and 7th place. Little Sharky and Dale Jr. getting some screen time right now as they are fighting. And, yeah. In the dirt, in the grass. They're going back and forth at it. They're trying to maintain. Let's get back up to the lead. Michael in the grass. And that's just opening the door for Habibi. How many comments? What's being talked about in that party? And what's the pressure like from Michael in that car?
Uh-oh, someone did DNF.
Somebody just lagged out. Somebody just lagged out. Who was it?
Shark.
Little Sharky. Little Sharky has DNF'd out of this race, I believe. And we go back there. Dale Jr. looks like he is slow.
And he almost hit by a tire bear.
So let's see. Does that bring out the caution?
No.
Sharky is out of this race. So the question is, was that a DNF or Michael's in the grass? Goodbye, Michael. Habibi reassumes the lead. Question, was that for the 18? Was that a DNF? Was that a lag out? It's being scored as a lag out right now. We'll get back to that later.
And
Habibi. Now the question is, can Habibi hold off Michael, who goes in the grass again? And how much of that is tires? We have to ask that question. How much of that is tires? How much of that is him making a mistake as he loses yet another position on the racetrack to Skinny Brave? Now he's in the grass again, driving hard in that race car. So was that pit strategy the strategy he needed? That's the question. Is now he's going to try to fight back for that position again with Skinny Brave.
Oh, it almost side by side.
He's in the grass again.
22.
And you can see that car is a handful. No damage, but the tires significantly worn. How much of that is playing a factor in what's going on? In the meantime, Habibi is setting sail. Ghost Train's in the dirt. Many veteran drivers having some trouble with this track and with what's going on. Skinny Brave in the dirt. It's getting difficult to keep track of everyone in the dirt and out of the dirt. Beloved hanging in there. He's in 6th. No damage. Taking this time. So many drivers having trouble. Let's get back up to a BB. Habibi just taking his time and doing what he needs to do out there on the racetrack. At this point, he can't afford a mistake, or else we're going to see these guys behind him kind of catch up a little bit. So as we got another driver off track, who is that? That's Ghost Train again. In the dirt. Able to recover. But now Bibbly Bob, who is going to put pressure on Ghost, and the pressure is not necessarily going to be competition as much as it's going to be if Bibbly Bob can catch up to Ghost. We know Bob has struggled with this track. Potential danger in an accident. Keep an eye on that. And everyone's kind of spread out now due to those accidents. We'll keep an eye on this battle right here between Ghost and Bob. This Ghost Train struggling with that downhill portion of that racetrack, and it's not setting him up with good speed coming out of that corner. Woozy, you called it what you said earlier, that people have to be careful going up that hill and coming down that hill. And you are exactly right, as we saw several drivers drive it off the track into the grass.
Yeah.
Let's go to 3rd, Skitty Brave. And Michael was able to take this position away from our blitz reporter. Now he is in the dirt. Mowing the lawn, we've seen a lot of that today so far from our veteran drivers. And here's that notorious downhill portion. You have to be so careful. Oh, hits that bump stop way too hard. Into the dirt he goes. And that's going to bring Ghost right back into the picture here.
Skitty Brave only have 65 of fuel left.
Yeah, so Skitty pitting is in his future now with old tires to 22. Can he catch Habibi? That's the question.
Oh no.
Into the dirt.
Michael only have 1 orange tires. If he continue doing that, his tire will turn red and his tire will be popped.
Yeah, now that's not something he can afford to have happen with the success of Habibi, the race leader at this point. So we got a driver off the track here in 6th, and that is Beloved, driving it off the track into the dirt. Gonna have to stay consistent. He doesn't want to go a lap down.
No.
Back up front. Michael's gonna have to make the decision whether he's gonna pit or not soon. How long is he gonna be able to stay out? I think he's betting on some more
he only
cautions,
have 39 field left.
I think he's betting on another caution, but you know, sometimes maybe the strategy is stay out as long as possible and then pit and not have to pit again. I don't know, but we'll have to keep an eye on that because he doesn't, you know, this race could go several laps green flag. I'm
going to keep my eye on Michael.
See, he's in the dirt again. This league could go several laps of green flag racing, and could definitely put himself in a rough situation. Habibi's meeting lap traffic, so we'll tune in on him in the 48 as Dale Jr. is getting ready to go a lap down here. Let's see how Dale's going to race Habibi and if he can get around him clean. It's such a tight racetrack. Dale's going to move out the way. Habibi gets secure and continues his run in first place. As Dale's in the dirt. Such a tough spot right here. Dale Jr., no damage, can keep it going, but it's such a tough spot. You eclipse that hill. You got a ton of speed once you hit the grass. Actually, the car speeds up once it hits the grass, and right down to the tire barrier you go. We got a car. Who is that? That looks like Dale Jr. in pit road. He is. 4 fresh tires. And out he comes. Already a lap down. Why not pit? And this is going to help him out if and when the caution comes out. So good strategy there, I think. What do you think, Woozy?
Yeah, that is a good strategy for Dale Jr.
Tuning in to Ghost Train, he's riding 4th. Pretty sure right now he's feeling pretty good about everybody being kind of spread out here because now he can get the opportunity to log some laps and learn this track and learn some tricks for later on in the race. As obviously these drivers are really fighting these cars around this racetrack.
Oh, I saw some. I got some smoke going on Michael.
As he's locking up those tires, as they wear, they're so much easier to lock up than when they're fresh, and he's having to compensate for that slide in. Let's get Bibbly Bob for a minute, trying to hang in there and get a solid run. He's running 5th, and this is really going to help him for the battle for the top 16. Help him to get some points, help him to earn some team points to get him into that final team battle at the end of the season. Ooh, but he blew that corner. Such a tough run. Pit road, 4th place. Skitty Brave. As he gets his service done.
And Go Train are moving up to 3rd place.
He's going to lose 1 position, but not a bad move there. I think this is a strategy call for these guys. They are anticipating a potentially a late race caution. Back up front, Habibi. Habibi spreading things out here. No pressure, just kind of running his race right now. And with everyone having issues like they are, I know Habibi, the biggest thing that he is looking out for is the lap drivers, lap cars.
Yeah. People would need to be careful with 1st place. Because Luhu Beauty are catching up with Beloved.
Yeah, and let's talk about Beloved. Doesn't really need to go a lap down. That would not be good for him.
No.
Let's go on board. On board. And there's Beloved. Oh! Into the tire barrier he goes. Now the danger is, got to be careful as other drivers are coming through. Don't want to involve anyone else.
Good news is Beloved don't have any damage.
That is good news. No one around here.
Wait, did you turn on damage?
I did.
Okay.
I had to have turned on damage for you to DNF, right?
Yeah, but some other driver complaining about the damage.
I definitely turned it on. I've seen other drivers in accidents and not get damaged. It's just how you hit the tire barriers. It doesn't always mean instant death. On board the 48.
The 22-year-old Michael needs to still have a decision to make. He only have 22 fuel left and on 4 tires.
And with so many drivers already having made their pit stop, he has to think is losing time to those drivers potentially, especially your drivers like Ghost and Skitty Brave. So it's going to be very interesting as Dale might go another lap down. He is really struggling, makes room for a BB to make this corner here. Let's go on board Michael now. See how he's running. As you can really tell the difference, Michael loose coming out of these corners, really loose. As opposed to, oh, the 48 off the track. And this brings Michael right to him. No, I'm sorry.
That Dale Jr.
Ooh, I was about to say. That's Dale Jr. Hey, we've had a lot of cars go off track.
Yeah.
Just kind of prepping for that. That was Dale Jr., guys, so sorry about that.
That makes it confusing about the number.
I think every car on the track has gone off track at some point in this race. Can you just imagine if it rained? That would be rough. Ghost Train running third right now. As we go through the field, Ghost Train looking pretty good here. How to take this course. Everyone's learning because you got to stay ready. It's easy to get in a kind of a lull or fall asleep, if you will. Not literally fall asleep. I don't know, maybe some drivers are tired. They may fall asleep, but...
Well, if they do go fall asleep, then their car might crash and just waking up and realize they DNF.
Right. But mentally falling asleep is what I'm referring to in running and being by yourself like this. You get so comfortable hitting your marks and no one's around you. You could easily fall asleep mentally, and then once you get those fresh tires, when that caution comes out and now you have to compete, you could actually forget how to run, how the car is going to respond in those situations. So always staying ready is what these drivers need to do as these laps continue to tick away. You never know when that caution is going to come out, and when it does, again, you got to stay ready. Got to be ready.
Yeah.
Move on to 4th place, Skitty Brave, in an up and down race for him so far with a limited number in this field, and yet 4th place is kind of mid-pack, if you will. And he's trying to hang in there right now, and someone will benefit from a caution. Now, he pitted. He has fresh tires, so we can imagine if a caution came around somewhere between
oh my God, on the grass!
Laps. Michael in the grass yet again, coming down that hill. This time it was Michael, not Dale Jr. Thank you, Woozy, for bringing that up, and loses yet more time. When is he going to pit? That's the question. That's the question. What is he trying to do? What is he trying to accomplish? I think he's praying for a caution. Maybe he's trying to do it on one stop. We'll keep an eye on that, because if we know cautions breed cautions, if there's a late race caution, we can expect that there'll be more late race cautions after that as some drivers fight for it. So,
yeah,
let's keep an eye on that. Going back to Skitty Brave, our Blitz reporter here. Again, fresh tires. He has the potential to get himself up front where he needs to be when that late race caution comes, and if it comes. Move on to 5th place, and that is Bibbly Bob. In the tire barrier he goes, and he hits Michael, the leader, and he's got damage. Very, very scary. Michael into pit road, and Bibbly Bob's gonna follow him. That was scary. That could have been a game changer. Woo.
Yeah, and he also pitted. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think he had to, because I think maybe he got a little bit of damage from Bob after Bob hit the tire barrier. So maybe that forced him to have to pit, or whatever the case may be. We're just spotlighting him now. He is he's good right now, but that was a game changer potentially, and that knocks a lot of distance between him now and Little Habibi. So he's got work to do, but now he's got the freshest tires on the track. As far as Bibbly Bob is concerned, the toughest as he drives into the grass again. This was I'm talking about falling asleep mentally. This is what I was referring to right here. Used to those older tires. Dale Jr.'s in pit road again. Used to those older tires, and now struggling with the new ones, but he's going to have to figure out a way to hang in there. That downhill portion has kicked his butt all race long. He's hit that same exact tire barrier several times this race. Gonna have to figure it out. Gonna have to figure out some type of way to figure it out. Let's go 6th place. Beloved car taking his time out there on the racetrack. He's got worn tires, so at some point he's going to pit soon, I'm sure, especially with other drivers taking those green flag pit stops. He's going to pit very, very soon here. As he is in danger of going, I think, 1 lap down or maybe yet another lap down, as Habibi has set sail, and almost in the same spot. He almost hits that tire barrier. The rear end likes to kick out in that corner.
And Beloved are going to have 2 laps down because Luhu B is catching up with Beloved.
Right, so, man, after that, Beloved's got work to do, because we know Habibi's not going to stop with Beloved. Got work to do to stay first car. 1 lap down. Into the tire barrier he goes. No damage. He was able to e-brake it and keep it out of the barrier, but now is he endangering the field? No, is able to get it going. No one's around. No caution. You keep rolling. Another driver off the track.
We keep it clean.
5th place, Bibbly Bob again struggling. Ghost Train's able to get around him. Ghost Train moves into P2. P3, I'm sorry. He moves into P3.
Ghost Train was P3. And I'm guessing, yep, Dale Jr.
So Beloved now is in pit road. He's in pit road for service. This is a good time. Yes, no, we started off with 10 drivers this race, and yeah, I invited you a couple times, well, actually several times, especially when I realized how many people were going to be out this race. But they'll be next week, man. They'll be next week.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We already had 2 DNFs so far in this race, or at least a DNF and a lag out. There were 9 drivers. As Beloved now struggling just a little bit. And we go back up front. We've only had 2 cautions this race. As we got drivers slow.
Oh, someone
really
is,
slow.
someone was slowing down. Baby Bob.
Billy Bob. And then also behind him, Skitty Brave. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So next track, we're headed back to Daytona for the road course. And I don't know the name of that track. As far as these, I just know it's the Daytona road course.
Yeah, just literally Daytona road course.
Habibi setting sail with this one, and you know, has ran the fastest lap of the race so far. No, Ghost Train rather has led the fastest lap, but Habibi is doing a really good job so far, and he has to feel good about his position, but he also can't be someone to fall asleep mentally. And I can tell you from experience, when you get leads like this, it's so easy to fall asleep. And then when the caution comes out and everyone's bunched back up, now you've got to retune or refocus. And for some, they're able to do that, and they get good results. But for many, it's hard to recover from that. As we got a driver off track, it looked like yet again. Bibbly Bob is struggling with this racetrack. No damage there, but he is really, really struggling, and it's just bringing the 46 of Skitty Brave right back to him. Oh! And he just killed the tire barrier.
Oh. Hey, I'm gonna talk to you later. I'm gonna talk to my friend.
All right, Uzi, thanks for joining us for the time that you did, man. We'll see you next week. All right, so, but Bibbly Bob killing the tire barrier there yet again. Now he has damage. He has to be careful because that spring damage could definitely propel him into another tire barrier and out of this race. And boy, if he were to DNF, boy, oh boy, there will be one driver not too happy. We got another driver slow. That's Dale Jr. yet again. Dale way off course. Wow, he went to the crowd. He went to go put on some Michelins. Dale went to go change tire brands on that one. He said Goodyear's not good enough. Give me the Michelins right there. Sorry, Dale, that's not your pit box. Wow, way off course was he. I'm pretty sure he's gonna pit for damage as well. So with all of these drivers going off course, as you see Habibi on a blistering basis. Oh my goodness, Dale again! Dale again. The Michelins didn't hold up, and he's got major front end damage. Well, come on up here, bud. I don't mind that at all. So we're gonna invite another someone to help us out in the commentator booth. It doesn't seem to be appearing online, which is convenient. There he is. But woof, Dale Jr. is gonna get that fixed. Yikes. Let's go up to Beloved. Okay. Well, we tried. No problem there. We'll go back up to Beloved, and Beloved in 6 as he just gets past. And we got leaders pitting. We got a driver off course. That's Dale Jr. again. The Michelins, man. Put the Goodyears back on. Put them back on. Yikes. Let's look at our driver coming out of pit road. Our leader, excellent time to pit because of the fact Because of the fact, oh, Bibbly Bob's off course. Whew, got a lot going on for only a few drivers. No damage though. He keeps it rolling. Good for him. And we go back to our map. Let's go back to our leader. And Habibi, again, excellent time for him to pit. Excellent time for him to pit, get those fresh tires. I mean, you got such a great distance on second. As third place Ghost Train now, he pits. He's getting 4 fresh tires. Michael still in chase. And now Michael's gonna have to try and get around this wrecking lap traffic, man. It's going to be tough. Let's see. Michael's just gonna have to be patient here, wait for Bob to make a mistake. Just like that, that little wiggle off the corner allows Michael to come through. Dale Jr. wrecked. Off course again. Dale Jr. really struggling with this race course, and he's gonna have to dart the pit road again. Poor thing, man. All right, man. Well, no problem. I hope you enjoy the stream. In the meantime, we got someone else off track. Ghost Train struggling. No damage though. He's able to get it going. So this track, I mean, you fall asleep mentally for a minute, and this track just eats you up. And that's what these drivers are dealing with right now. You just see not a lot of drivers on the track, but it's really hurting these guys. What's going on? Is I think we've got a driver missing. Well, let's take a look as we're on board with Bibbly Bob. Dale Jr. is gone. Dale Jr. DNF'd. Dale Jr. has DNF'd. And so now the question is, will the caution come out? Yeah, Dale Jr. is gone. So that's gonna bring out a caution. Because if he quit, that's a DNF. So even if he were to quit, or even if he were to get wrecked out, that is a DNF. So there's potential that we see a caution here, and boy, is that going to be a game changer. Now, if he lagged out, then of course we will not see a caution. So let's see what's going on here. The cars have not slowed to this point, so it doesn't look like we're going to see a caution. And if not, Habibi keeps his lead. So, oh, and Bibbly Bob is gone. Bibbly Bob is gone as well. That should definitely be a caution. Caution flag should be out for both Dale and Bob. And I know this is a heartbreaker. There we got Snow Engineer here in the booth to help us out with the broadcast, and we've got, what's up, Snow? Be sure to include your audio. We got some weird things going on the racetrack. I mean, we got drivers disappearing off the track, and we got no cautions to show for it, and we've got just a lot of things going on here. I think it's the drivers are trying to finish off this race and get out of here, as difficult as it has been. But according to what I have seen, caution should definitely be flying right now. I don't know whether he lagged out or DNF'd. It looked like he DNF'd, as bad of a run as he had. And then of course Biblybot was wrecking all over the place, and I think he DNF'd as well. And for either one of those, there should be a caution out. So I don't see a caution flag fly, so we're gonna stay green, and that means that Habibi gets a chance to keep his lead here on the track. And Michael, though, let's keep an eye on this battle. Now, this is interesting. Michael has driven the tires off of that car at a blistering pace, but he is catching Habibi in the waning laps of this race. 20 to go at the line of this race. Yeah, this is going to line up to be a really, really good one. And ahead of them is what's left of the entire field. So essentially, we're going to run into lap traffic, quote unquote. And he has just driven and hawked down Habibi right now, who may be asleep. He may have fallen asleep right now, and maybe this pace by Michael is what's going to help him wake up just a little bit here. Definitely could be the case. Well, if I know Habibi being in the lead, he is not allowed other drivers to fluster him to that point. So I doubt very seriously. We got contact and a little bit of racing here as Ghost moves up to the 4th position as he passes Beloved, but neither one of these chasers have had good races to their standard. But you know, they're gonna walk away with top 5 finishes simply because of the mistakes of the other drivers in the race. So kudos, but yet I know that for Beloved, especially for Ghost, opportunity to fight for a win is what Ghost is looking for. 4th place is not going to be good enough, especially if the 48 is the race winner. 4th place is just not going to be good enough for Ghost right now. So I know he's praying for a caution. Please, somebody DNF. This is what I know is what he's hunting for, so that he can get that caution. On board our Blitz reporter, having a solid run. He's 3rd place right now. Really going to help him in the point standings. And just when I spotlight him, off he goes into the grass. I need to stop that. Well, there isn't any action until I get to him. So maybe if I say caution enough, there'll be one. Maybe they're, as they're walking around a lap car, driving around a lap car, that's Beloved off into the dirt. They're going to get around him easily. Beloved's going to continue his top 5 running. I know Beloved very satisfied with those results. Now, top 5 is something Beloved needs, because that's going to really help him stay with these guys. He's not going to be able to gain much. Ooh, loose coming down that corner was Michael. Oh, Michael is making mistakes as he's driven off the grass, off into the grass twice. Michael's going to have to clean that up if he's going to catch Habibi, because Habibi is just, right now, just running his race. And so that's really going to be tough. Guys, we started with 9 drivers. We are down to 5. But the competitors, Michael, Habibi, Ghost, and Beloved, our final 4 finalists, they are still in this race. And that's what we care about the most, is we got a driver off track just a little bit. That is Beloved. Speak of the driver. Tires wearing just a little bit. He's trying to hang in there in that position. Back up front, Michael just going ahead and BB rather, just going ahead and he's running his race. You could tell there's no panic. He's nice and smooth in these exits and these corners. What you got to do. And so right now, based on what we're seeing so far, let's just assume that Habibi wins this race. We know Michael won last week. Who's your championship favorite right now? Okay. Now I'm gonna say Habibi for probably the same reasons you're gonna say Michael. Skitty Brave just made his final pit stop for the day, potentially. So he's going to be good to the end. He's riding 4th so far. Oh, Michael in the grass again. And he can't do that, because what's going to end up happening is Ghost is going to be there for the battle. And now we got a race contact between these two. Obviously, Skitty Brave is a lap down, but he's going to try to get it the hard way. And Skitty Brave on the fresh tires. Michael on the older tires. So we've seen Michael make several key mistakes. So, Snow, I got a question. How much do you think the pressure is causing Michael to make these mistakes? At least. So we're gonna see whether Skitty tries to make the pass. And you know, honestly, I think at this point, if Skitty is a little bit faster, I think it'll be good for Michael to just go ahead and let Skitty by. You don't want to be battling anyone, and you don't want to take the chance of maybe a side-by-side or Skitty Brave getting a run to his bumper and then something happens. I'd let him by. Let him go ahead and take it's not a position. Go ahead and take it. Let me get in my rhythm so I can go and catch the leader, the one I'm after. It seems that Michael can gain in the front part of the racetrack, but then on the back half, coming down the hill in those S's, it just seems Michael struggles so much. And you look at it, Michael's gained some time on Habibi, but he's just been unable to keep it. All right, let's check in on Ghost right now. Ghost, I'm pretty sure, not having the race that he wanted. Several mistakes early pitted him in the back of the field, and this late in the race, I know he's praying for a caution. Probably should have been one, to be honest, with all of the DNFs, the lag outs or whatnot. I'm pretty sure not all of them were lag outs. I'm pretty sure it was a DNF or someone quit, but that's neither here or there. What that has done has put him in a situation where now he is stuck way back. Now, third place is a decent finish. It's a good finish, top 3, but when the people you're battling in points finish ahead of you, it doesn't do much good. So we'll see. Maybe potentially a miracle could happen. Late race caution because of a DNF. And then we see if those can battle for a win. That would be very, very interesting, especially with this few amount of cars. Definitely, but they will both have to get their lap back. Both of those drivers are a lap down, so yeah. And we'll take a spotlight real quick on Beloved. It's hanging in there, top 5. This is going to do well for him. The difference between this finish and Ghost's finish is Ghost DNF'd last week, so he only got 20 points. Beloved, however, finished 6th. He's got 63 points. 64 points. So this is really going to be good for him if he can maintain this finish. Hopefully, he hasn't learned from his boss and team owner sitting up here in the booth and hit a tire barrier by himself when he doesn't need to push. So wait for that caution, potentially get a waiver round or something like that, and then try and gain as many positions as you can late, or just finish this race off with a clean race car and we head over to Daytona. Right. Michael still chasing. Michael's still working to try to gain his gain ever so slightly on Habibi. But Habibi seems to have corrected the mistakes that he was making earlier on the race. Now, I think pressure has a lot to do with that as well. On those restarts, we saw Habibi really trying to push the issue and try and gain some positions and things of that nature. And I think it caused him to make some mistakes. But now that he's had all of this time up front by himself, I think he's a lot more comfortable with the track and it's lessened a lot of the mistakes. Plus, there's not a whole lot of pressure at this point from behind. Now, in 2 laps, it'll be 10 to go. So that's going to be interesting as well. Yep, you're exactly right. All right, 11 to go at the line, so. There's Habibi all by his lonesome. Got the space. But one thing he doesn't want to do, though, again, can't fall asleep mentally. It's so easy to fall asleep and then make a mistake that'll bring Michael right to his bumper. And then at that point, it's on. Because you have to know Michael is not going to give an inch, a centimeter even, to Habibi. He's going to want to try to get that lap back. By the way, Habibi has led the most laps. So we can definitely mark that down. Habibi has definitely led the most laps. We've had several lead changes this race. Habibi obviously leading the most laps, but Michael led quite a few laps. We had also Ghost Train lead a few laps early in the race. But Habibi needed those bonus points. Yeah, we have to fight to stay awake, both physically and mentally. Yep. Tell you what, for any, oh, Ghost Train's off the track and right in front of his teammate, and this is how things can get really interesting. Now, I know Ghost is going to pull over. Now, how does Habibi take it? In the dirt just a little bit. Now, that's how things can get interesting. If you have a mistake like that, Habibi going to pass a lap car loses control in front of the leaders, could potentially bring out a caution or wreck the leaders. And that would be a game changer for everyone. Ghost Train riding third. Oh, car off the track. Michael off the track. That's not a mistake you make with 9 laps to go in the race. He's got work to do for sure to get back in this thing. Wow. Wow. Man, he's got a lot of work to do to catch up. And he's got to have help. He's got to hope Habibi makes a big mistake in order to catch up, because I don't think he has the time. We got a car stop. Beloved. And the leaders are really starting to catch Beloved now. So we got to keep an eye on Beloved. There are the leaders right behind him. And I know Beloved is the type he's going to move out of the way. He's going to salvage this win, but in the certain areas of this racetrack, it is just such a challenge to make the right pass, to make a good pass, and to keep that momentum. And with Michael having made that mistake, you know he's coming. Well, that solves that. Beloved to pit road. So all the obstructions are out of the way, but let's keep an eye on this. Now, this can potentially go south. Not that Ghost would wreck his teammate, but you see how close they're racing around each other. One mistake really by Habibi could precipitate a collision between the 48 and the 84, which could bring the 22 right back into this race. So the 84 is going to have to be really, really careful about how much he rides his teammate, and give him enough space to be able to recover in case of an accident by the 48. Yeah, I question Michael's strategy early in this race, going so long on older tires. We really saw a lot of mistakes when he was on those older tires. It was harder for him to get off the corners, and as a result, I think he lost a lot of time to Habibi, which is what allowed the 48 to get to such a big run. because when Habibi's on the track and you're out mowing the lawn, it's going to make a big difference. Yeah, but here's the thing, 484.12 on the track. So how much is Ghost Train going to hold up the 22 from getting to his teammate? It's been a bizarre race. We started with 9, we added 1 DNF, then we had several other cars that DNF'd out of this race, and no caution flag was thrown. The field's gotten so spread out that it's going to take a miracle to get something as Michael descends to pit road, and that essentially could be the race right here. That could be it. Yeah, again, I question the strategy for the 22 and what he did this race. I think, you know, you can't be so stuck on a strategy that you ride it out to the end when you see down the tunnel and you see that that's probably not going to get you to your goal. Sometimes you got to make adjustments to that strategy, and I don't think the 22 did that, and as a result, I think it may have cost him his race, or this win, I should say. Oh, Ghost Train has struggled this race. Unlike last time we were here where Ghost, I believe, came away with a win. This race, he is not coming away with anything. And the last thing Ghost wants to do is back-to-back DNFs. That would basically end his championship hopes for our defending champion. I don't know, he's trying to back that championship up with another one. Last thing he wants to do is DNF. Now, here's one move that, and I think the only way that Michael's going to be able to get back up to Habibi is he's going to need a caution. If we, there's a car slow. Okay, we got it going again. That was Beloved. No damage. Beloved's good, but he was off the track there for a minute. I think the only way that you're going to see a caution here is if Michael pressures one of these lap drivers to make a mistake that endangers him. I think that, for me, I think that would be my game plan. Look, it's 4 to go. I don't think you're going to be able to pressure. I don't think you'll be able to catch Habibi right now. He's not going to pit. He's got a wall between him and Michael, and that's Ghost. So I think what you do is you ride up and intimidate Beloved, or you intimidate Skiddy to make a big mistake, potentially wreck it, and then throw that caution. Exactly, and bunch the field up, and then it changes the narrative completely. So I think outside of that, I think Habibi's got this one sealed up, and it's been a great run. Habibi has done, you know, he made one aggressive move early in the race to get through the traffic. I mean, that's what you got to do, chasing for a championship. And once he got to the lead, he did not relinquish it. So he's done everything he needed to do. Great run for the 48 in this race as we look at 3 to go right now, 4 to go right now. Well, I think you've got enough distance right now that you can, you know, really and truly, he's got enough distance he could probably pit and still be okay. So we'll see what the strategy is for the 48 team. 3 to go, coming to the line. For Michael, if there is an additional pit stop that Habibi has to make, then all hope is not lost. But in this situation, one thing the 22 doesn't want is a caution. So now that, you know, the 22 doesn't need a caution right now, if Habibi gets to a point where, he can't make it all the way, he's going to have to pit. He definitely has the speed enough to take advantage of Habibi going to pit road. So that could be a game changer, because I thought that Habibi pitted already. Evidently he didn't. So it kind of changes the narrative just a little bit. Ghost Train. Oh no, Ghost, no! Oh my goodness. Now that was scary. He almost DNF'd himself into the tire barrier. He is really struggling with the handling of that race car with those worn tires. No, yeah, he was able to save it. Right as before he hit the tire barrier, he was able to turn the car and planted on its side, but that was scary. And the last thing he needs is we head with 3 to go. Well, Beloved's a lap down, so let's go. Yeah, 3 to go in this race. Or no, I'm sorry, 2 to go. 2 to go in this race. And now that's going to be the question mark here. It's 2 to go. See, that's the question. Will he make it to the end? Because the thing about it is, that's going to be tough. Because if he has to pit, there's no more cautions once he crosses that line. Will he make it to the end is the question. And let's see where Michael is. Oh, well, see, he might have enough time here. He might have played it out just right. Coming to the white flag, darting down pit road. Here we go. Now the counter's on as we approach white flag. No more cautions. The leader's down pit road. Michael's chance to take advantage. Coming down those S's. No mistakes can be made. None whatsoever. I believe that's Ghost Train that's passing him now. Here comes Habibi exiting pit road. Here comes Michael down the front straightaway ahead of speed. Habibi is out of pit road. White flag, no more cautions. And now it all comes down to this. Can Michael catch Habibi and score the win? Fresh tires means braking zones change. Habibi could mess up in one of these corners and bring Michael right to him. We'll see what happens. Michael's going to have to drive the tires off of that car to catch him. Can he do it? Running out of time. You never know what can happen with Habibi. Let's go up there with Habibi, who has Ghost Train in front of him. So trouble is not, he's not in the free and clear quite yet. Now Habibi can't make any mistakes here. Around the corner. And we'll leave this up. That's where Michael is in conjunction to Habibi. Habibi down the hill. Rounding the corner onto the front straightaway. Ghost Train's gonna peel off It's gonna be Habibi that takes one weird victory. He's gonna take checker flag. Michael's gonna be second. What a race here. Yeah, that was a great run for Habibi, and it looks like Skitty Brave is going to take the third position, and then Ghost Train's going to be fourth. And then Beloved Car is going to be fifth. And then sixth place is going to be, I think actually that's it. Yeah. All right, well, let's talk to our finishers here. Let's start with the 84th Ghost, because we know that the 46 does not have a mic. So we'll start with Ghost Train here and get some interviews. What a race ran, though, by these guys. They definitely put on the show.
For sure.
Ghost, is Sam Cook in the booth, man? Please include your audio. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, Ghost, man. I know you personally. I know that wasn't the type of run you would like to have at a race, but you were able to secure fourth place. Am I correct on that?
We'll have to go back and look at it because I pitted on the very last lap coming to the checker.
Yeah, I saw that.
I did not realize Skitty was that close. So.
Yeah, it showed that Skitty had that position, so we can go back and with the footage that we have and try to look at that. But regardless of the fact, man, just take us through that run. What was going on out there on the racetrack?
I mean, for me, I thought my fate was sealed. You know, by lap 20 when I was 30 seconds behind. I didn't think we were going to get a caution, so I was just running my race. I was mostly racing Skitty. It was weird because like we were definitely on different strategies, and when it came to pits, I totally forgot he was on my tail or he was ahead of me. But I made way too many mistakes. I shouldn't have been that far behind. I wasn't even that bad like that far off the pace of the leaders. Just way too many mistakes.
Yeah, it seemed like a race where that was the thing, especially early, just drivers making mistakes. And where does this put you, mentally as you head on to the rest of the chase at Daytona? Do you feel that Daytona then becomes a must-win for you?
Well, I mean, it's not a must. Like, even if I win, it's not going to make a difference. What's going to make a difference is how the other drivers perform at this point. Because I'm just way too far behind. I DNF'd at Daytona, and then I finished behind them at VIR. So, if I win, it's going to be nice. Definitely going to be a way to prove myself. But at the same time, it's like, looking at the point battle, I need them to DNF to actually have a chance.
As one thing I know about BRL, especially here in Season 3, anything is possible when it comes to DNF. Speaking of which, we had a lot of people pop up as DNFs on the screen. What happened with those guys?
Yeah, so a lot of guys actually just left the race, which is, they kind of gave up. Yeah, I think like three or four of them just gave up, and then I think the only one that actually DNF'd was Uzi, I think. Yep.
Okay, so everyone else Everyone else, they didn't lag out. They just threw in the towel.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for clarifying that. Let me get with you after the race, after the broadcast here. But is there anyone you got to thank? Anybody you got to thank for the night?
Yeah. Got to thank my team owner, Speed B, for letting me race for racing. It's been a pretty good season. Hopefully these last 2 races will go well. Got to thank the sponsor Cincinnati for being on board. Finally got them to finish this season. Kind of been a bad luck thing, but you know. And go to Simon Carbone. So yeah. And thanks for the broadcast.
All right, no problem. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I did the best I could tonight.
Right.
I'll send my thanks to everyone after the interviews. Let's go ahead and interview Michael next. Thank you, Ghost. That was Ghost Train Driver of the 84. Let's interview second place finisher in the 22. That's Michael. Let's get him in there. Snow, you wanna do the interview for him?
You seem to be really good at it, so.
Oh, don't let me intimidate you. I just pull questions off the top of my head, man. Let's see. Of course, he's not appearing online. Oh my goodness, at the bottom of the list. Come on, Michael, you gotta make it easy for a brother. Anyway. So finally got him as he's doing he's freaking out in the race car, wheels left to right. Be sure to include your audio there, Michael.
I got you.
Alright. Snow, you want to do it? You want me to do it? Okay, well, I'll let you lead off.
Like that I would win? Yeah. I had better pace, and if I didn't go off the track so many times in the last corner, I would have won. I think it was around there, yeah. Dropped from 7 to 4.
Yeah, we saw a lot of interesting strategy out there on the racetrack as far as pitting. Could you take us through briefly what your strategy was?
It was gonna be go as long as I can on fuel. I know the tires are gonna fall off, but I just knew I could one stop if I got all the way through my can. And then Billy wrecked and then came out on track and gave me damage. So I had to pit earlier than I wanted to. It kind of messed everything up.
Yeah, how much was tires a factor in the mistakes that we saw out of the drivers on the track? Because you mentioned how you went off the track several times. We saw that. And so, but we also saw Habibi go off the track late in runs. We saw Ghost Train go off the track late in runs. So how much was the tire wear a factor in the mistakes?
It was more towards the end of the run, like middle of the run, beginning of the run. Tires were fine. They were absolutely perfect to run as hard as you can as they get to the later stages. Did not like the last corner, hopping on curves.
Yeah, you got a win at Daytona. You got a second place here at VIR. How confident do you feel headed to Daytona?
Not. Do not like that track. Do not like the bus stop. If we remove the bus stop by chance, fine. If not, I might struggle.
Got you. Well, you got time to practice. You got a week. Who you got to thank?
Nationwide and the Credit One Bank, putting sponsors on the car. And my non-existent teammate, don't know where he's at.
Yeah, I don't either. I would have thought he would have wanted to be out here, especially for this one. But, you know, there would have been about 5 more cautions had he been out here, so be thankful.
For sure.
Anyway.
It's an assumption.
Well, that was the Torque driver, second place finisher, 22 of Michael. Rookies chasing for that championship, got a second place today. And now we got to bring in our winner of this race for like the umpteenth time this season. Actually, not as much as last season, though. His pace is kind of slow. In any case, winning when it counts, little Habibi. I have to add that to the title. Habibi, be sure to include your audio man, Sam Cook, in the booth. You got a copy.
Yes, sir, I do.
Welcome back to Victory Lane, and what I have to say was a dominant second half of VIR.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, took us a while to find the balance of the car and, you know, where we should run on the track, but, you know, eventually came to us and just doing what we got to do here at the end.
Yeah, that's one thing I was saying in the broadcast was that when you had the mistakes early and you were, you know, kind of off the pace and in the back of the pack, sitting about third, I believe, that you were learning the track. You were learning what made the car happy, so that later on in the race, you would be able to, exert that speed and limit the mistakes. Is that what you were doing? Is that kind of the progress you were coming through, making throughout the race?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the cautions we had in the first part of the race also wasn't really helpful, so it was a pretty slow start to learn the track, but, you know, once we got the hang of it and we started realizing the warmer tires were actually better than the fresh tires, just, you know, came to us there at the end.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment because when we interviewed Michael mentioned that the older tires actually were a little harder to keep the car balanced and keep the car on track than the newer tires were. The newer tires and the warm tires had grip. So from your perspective, with all the mistakes that we saw on the racetrack, what do you think those mistakes came from? Was it the tire wear? Was it mental mistakes? And what did you do to overcome those mistakes?
For me, I think the mistakes on my behalf were more of just inexperience at the track. And I don't know, I think I could see Michael catching me on the fresher tires. But once the tires got older and throughout the run, I could see myself pulling away. So, you know, I think it's more of a mental thing when it comes to these mistakes because I would say the cold tires, but, you know, Michael would have the opposite. So I would say it's more mental.
You know, it's really unique hearing the perspective of different drivers. You know, you learn a lot about what makes drivers comfortable, and you learn a lot about what could be affecting the field. So thank you for that insight. Now, you're headed to Daytona. You just won the race. You know, Michael won last week, but wasn't that far ahead. You inch ever closer to that. As a matter of fact, could be tied potentially with him at the end of this race. So what's your confidence level headed to Daytona?
You know, I don't want to get too overconfident. I mean, we haven't ran the Daytona road course before last season, so, you know, I think we're at an even pace coming to Michael going into Daytona. So, you know, I just need to execute the same way I did again today and, you know, hopefully come out with the same results, which, you know, I think I'm pretty confident about, but I don't want to get too excited about it.
There you go, keeping that mental discipline together until you're hoisting that championship trophy. Who you got to thank?
Gotta thank 4A4 Racing especially. Gotta thank my teammate Ghost. He put on a good performance today and it was really helpful. I thank my sponsors, Alpine Stars, Ally, Microsoft, Valvoline, everyone that, you know, funds this car and lets me do what I do every week.
All right, man. That's our race winner, Little Habibi. We'll see you next week at Daytona.
All right, thank you. Looking forward to it.
All right. Again, that was Habibi, and yet another win, but this one may be more important than any of the ones he has had before, because this one puts him almost dead even for that championship points lead. We want to thank everyone who was able to tune in tonight for the race. It was a good one. We want to thank Snow Engineer for joining us for the back half of this race. Thank you very much, Snow.
Sure.
We want to thank Woozy Emu for tuning in for the first part of the race. Thank you, Woozy. And all of the ones that made this possible and make this league possible due to their racing and following the rules. Thank you very much, because when we do that, the league, the racing is enjoyable. It's fun. And in 2 weeks, we will crown a champion. Who will it be? Will it be Michael, the rookie? Will it be Habibi, the veteran, trying to claim his first championship trophy? Will it be Ghost Train, our defending champion, coming from the grave, potentially, and securing a win? Or will it be that underdog that no one is talking about in Beloved? Will he sneak and get himself into this championship battle? We got a lot to discuss coming this coming weekend, with the points update and the speed report. Until then, this is Sam Cook signing out.